Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Learn English Naturally, where learning English is easy and fun. I am Emma.
And I am Ethan. Hello, everyone. So great to be here with you again today.
Ethan, can I ask you something honest?
Of course, Emma. Always.
Have you ever felt scared to speak English?
Oh, absolutely. 100% yes.
Tell me about it.
Okay, so I remember one time I was at a cafe. The waiter came to take my order, and suddenly my mind went completely blank.
Blank? Like everything disappeared?
Everything. Every English word I ever learned just vanished.
Oh no, what did you do?
I pointed at the menu. Just pointed like a small child.
You pointed at the menu?
Yes, silently. I said nothing, just pointed.
Ethan, I think every single English learner in the world has had that exact moment.
Really? So it is not just me?
Not just you at all. And today, that is exactly what we are talking about. Today, our topic is scared to speak English.
Yes. Why do we feel scared, and what can we do about it?
Because the fear of speaking English is one of the biggest things stopping learners from becoming fluent.
Not grammar, not vocabulary, fear.
And today, we are going to face that fear together.
Let's do it. I'm ready.
But first, everyone, please subscribe to Learn English Naturally.
Yes, and click the like button and share this episode with someone who needs it today.
Okay, are you ready, Ethan?
100% ready. Let's go.
Okay, Ethan, let's understand the fear first.
Yes, because if we understand it, we can fight it.
Exactly. So why do people feel scared to speak English?
I think the number one reason is fear of making mistakes.
Yes, people are terrified of saying the wrong word,
Or using the wrong grammar or pronouncing something badly.
and they think everyone will laugh at them.
Yes, that thought, what if people laugh at me?
But here's the truth. Native speakers almost never laugh at someone trying to speak their language.
Really?
Really, most native speakers actually feel impressed when someone tries to speak English.
They appreciate the effort.
They appreciate the effort enormously.
Another big reason people feel scared is they compare themselves to others.
Oh yes, this one is very painful.
They see someone speaking fluently and they think, I will never sound like that.
But they forget that fluent speaker also started from zero.
They also had bad days, embarrassing moments, mistakes.
Everyone you admire in English was once a beginner who was scared.
That's such an important thing to remember.
And there's a third reason. People feel scared because they have too much time to think.
Too much time to think?
Yes, when you think too long before speaking, fear grows.
Your brain starts listing everything that could go wrong.
What if I say it wrong? What if they don't understand me? What if I forget the word?
And then you freeze, exactly like I did at the cafe.
So the fear of speaking English comes from three main things.
Fear of making mistakes, comparing yourself to others, and thinking too much before speaking.
And all three of these can be fixed.
Good. Tell me how.
Okay, let's talk about mistakes first, because this is the biggest fear.
Yes, everyone is terrified of making mistakes.
Ethan, what happens when you make a mistake in English?
I feel embarrassed. My face goes red.
And then what happens?
Usually, nothing. The conversation continues.
Exactly. The world does not end.
No, it does not, but in that moment, it feels like it will.
I understand that feeling completely. But here's something important I want everyone to hear.
Yes, tell us.
I want everyone to hear mistakes are not the opposite of learning. They are learning.
Say that again.
Mistakes are not the opposite of learning. They are learning.
Wow, that's powerful.
When you make a mistake and you notice it, your brain remembers.
Because it was uncomfortable, and the brain remembers uncomfortable moments.
Exactly. You're much more likely to remember a mistake than something you got right.
Oh, so mistakes actually help us remember better.
Yes, a mistake is your brain taking a photograph of what not to do.
A photograph. I love that image.
Think about babies learning to walk.
Okay.
A baby falls down hundreds of times before they can walk.
Yes, they fall and fall and fall.
But nobody says that baby is a failure at walking.
Of course not.
Every fall is teaching the baby balance, teaching muscles, teaching coordination.
And speaking English is exactly the same.
Every mistake is teaching your mouth, teaching your brain, teaching your confidence.
So we shouldn't hide from mistakes, we should welcome them.
Welcome them, learn from them, and keep going.
From today, I'm going to think of every mistake as a photograph in my brain.
Perfect. That's exactly the right mindset. And remember, everyone, native speakers make mistakes every single day, too.
Every single day, without exception.
Perfect English does not exist, even for native speakers. Okay, let us talk about the comparison trap.
Yes, this one hurts a lot of people.
Ethan, have you ever compared your English to someone else and felt bad?
Many times.
Tell me about one time.
Okay, so I was in a group conversation once with a mix of people. And one person was speaking English so smoothly, so confidently, so fast.
And you compared yourself to them.
Immediately, I thought my English is nothing compared to this person.
And what happened to your confidence in that moment?
It dropped completely. I became very quiet.
You pulled yourself out of the conversation.
Yes. Even though I had things to say, I just stayed quiet.
And that is the real damage of comparison. It silences you.
Yes, it takes away your voice.
But here is what you did not know about that fluent person.
What?
You did not know how many years they studied, how many countries they lived in,
True.
how many embarrassing moments they had, how many times they cried from frustration.
We only see the result, not the journey.
Exactly. You saw the finished painting, not the hundreds of failed attempts before it.
That is such a good way to put it.
There's a phrase I love. Compare yourself only to who you were yesterday.
Compare yourself only to who you were yesterday.
Not to your classmate, not to a YouTuber, not to a native speaker.
Just to your past self.
Am I better than I was last month? Can I say things today that I could not say 6 months ago?
And the answer is almost always yes.
Almost always yes. Because you are here, you are listening, you are practicing.
Every day a little better. Every day a little stronger.
That is the only comparison that matters.
Your only competition is your yesterday self. Nobody else.
Okay, everyone, now the part you have been waiting for.
Yes, real practical tips, things we can actually do.
Tip number 1. Start with safe conversations.
Safe conversations. What does that mean?
It means start speaking English in situations where the pressure is low.
Not in a big important meeting, not in front of many people.
Start small. Order your coffee in English.
Say good morning in English to someone.
Leave a comment in English online. Send a short message in English.
Small, low-pressure moments to warm up your courage.
Because courage is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger it gets.
And safe, small conversations are the training ground for bigger ones.
Yes, every small conversation builds your confidence for the next one.
Tip number 2, prepare some phrases in advance.
Tell me more about this one, Ethan.
So, a lot of the fear comes from not knowing what to say.
Your mind goes blank and you panic.
So, prepare. Have some sentences ready before you go into a conversation.
Like what kind of sentences?
Like, sorry, could you say that again, please?
Or, I'm not sure I understood. Could you repeat that?
Or, give me a moment, I'm thinking.
These phrases buy you time. They keep the conversation going.
And they sound very natural. Native speakers say them all the time.
You're not hiding that you're learning. You're just communicating naturally.
And that's exactly what language is for. Communication.
Tip number 3. Focus on the message, not the grammar.
Explain that more, Emma.
When you're scared, you focus on grammar. Is this the right tense? Is my pronunciation correct?
And that thinking slows everything down.
Instead, focus only on your message. What do I want to say? What is my idea?
And then just say it. Even imperfectly.
Because a message delivered imperfectly is 1,000 times better than a perfect sentence never spoken.
A message delivered imperfectly is better than a perfect sentence never spoken.
Think about that. The most important thing is that your idea reaches the other person.
Grammar can be fixed later. Communication happens now.
Tip number 4, speak to yourself every day.
Yes, we've talked about this before, and it's so important.
Every morning, every evening, talk to yourself in English.
Today, I woke up feeling a little tired. I need to do something important today.
Describe your room. Describe what you're doing. Describe how you feel.
Because speaking to yourself is safe. There's no judgment, no pressure.
And every time you do it, your mouth gets more comfortable with English sounds.
And tip number 5, celebrate every time you speak.
Oh, I love this one.
Every single time you speak English, no matter how small, celebrate it.
How do you celebrate?
Even just saying to yourself, well done, I did it.
Or writing it down. Today I spoke English to the cashier. I did it.
Because your brain responds to celebration. It wants to repeat the things that felt good.
So when you celebrate speaking English, your brain connects speaking English with feeling good.
And next time you feel a little less scared.
And the time after that, even less scared.
Until one day, you realize you're not scared at all.
And that day will come. I promise it will come. Okay, Ethan, I want to do something a little different now.
What is that?
We are going to share our most embarrassing English-speaking moments.
Oh no, do we have to?
Yes, we do, because I want everyone to know that even we make embarrassing mistakes.
Okay, fair enough.
I will go first.
Please, go ahead.
Okay, so I was at a dinner, a formal dinner, very nice restaurant,
Okay.
and someone asked me what I thought about the dessert.
And?
I wanted to say the dessert is very sweet, but I said the desert is very sweet.
What is the difference?
Dessert with 2 S letters is the food you eat after dinner.
Okay.
But desert with 1 S is like the Sahara Desert, dry, hot sand.
Oh no, you called the cake a sandy, dry place?
Yes, everyone laughed, including me eventually.
I love that story.
And I will never forget the difference between desert and dessert for the rest of my life.
Because of the embarrassment.
Exactly. The embarrassment made it stick forever. Okay, your turn, Ethan.
Okay. So mine is worse.
Tell me.
So I was meeting someone new, a new colleague at work, and I wanted to say I'm glad to meet you.
That is a nice thing to say.
But I was nervous, and what came out was, I'm afraid to meet you.
Afraid to meet you?
Yes, instead of glad, I said afraid.
What did they say?
They looked at me very strangely and said, should I be worried?
Should I be worried? That is so funny.
I wanted to disappear right there. Just disappear into the floor.
The floor could not save you.
No, the floor did not help, but I explained and we laughed about it.
And that is exactly the point. You explained, you laughed, and the world continued.
The world continued. Nobody died. And now I will never confuse glad and afraid again.
So, everyone listening, our embarrassing moments taught us things we never forgot.
Your embarrassing moments will teach you too.
Do not be ashamed of them. Be grateful for them.
Every embarrassing moment is a free English lesson that stays with you forever.
Okay, everyone, we're coming to the end of today's episode. Let us do a quick review of everything we covered today.
We talked about why people feel scared to speak English.
Fear of mistakes, comparing yourself to others, and thinking too much before speaking.
We talked about the truth about mistakes.
Mistakes are not the opposite of learning. They are learning.
We talked about the comparison trap.
Compare yourself only to who you were yesterday, not to anyone else.
And we shared 5 practical tips.
Start with safe conversations, prepare phrases in advance, focus on the message, not the grammar.
Speak to yourself every day and celebrate every time you speak.
And we shared our most embarrassing English moments.
Which I will never forget for the rest of my life.
Neither will I. But most importantly, I want to leave you with one thought today.
Yes, tell us, Emma.
The only way to be scared of speaking English is to speak English.
Not to study more, not to wait until your English is perfect.
Just speak, even badly, even nervously, even with mistakes.
Because every time you speak, despite the fear gets smaller.
And your confidence gets bigger.
Fear shrinks when you face it, every single time.
So today, after this episode, do one thing.
What one thing?
Speak one sentence in English to someone, anyone.
Or leave one comment below in English. That counts too.
Just one sentence, that's all we ask.
One sentence today becomes 2 sentences tomorrow.
And 2 sentences becomes a conversation.
And a conversation becomes fluency.
And fluency begins with that one brave sentence today.
Thank you so much, everyone, for being here with us today.
You chose to spend your time learning, and that's a beautiful decision.
Keep going. Keep speaking. Keep being brave.
We'll see you in the next episode of Learn English Naturally. Goodbye, everyone.
Goodbye, everyone. You're braver than you think. Keep going.